Recording in progress. Do I got it?
Right here. My array of black folk. My dude with the fitted cap with the S.
Black
It
American.
look like a Chanel shirt.
Yeah, it does look like the Chappelle shirt.
Okay, it's charging. Cool. Just charging my headphones. Wait, Ron, I got work to do. I see someone on the upper left. He's glowing today because he had a great night. Yeah, I do had a great night. He's like,
oh, baby.
It wasn't bad. Like I said, it was pretty good. Pretty good night. It's gonna be a good weekend, I feel.
Tonight's gonna be a good night. Oh, all right. You got your coffee, Ron?
Oh, baby.
You got your coffee, little Christmas lights or whatever? No, Christmas. What is that? Look like
what is this? It's New York City.
Oh, okay.
New York City. So
New York City.
I couldn't find the other cup, my black cup that I usually keep it in. To keep everybody guessing what's in there.
Yeah, I remember Ron took me to Fifth Avenue during the Christmas time, and they did that whole light show against the wall.
Oh, yeah, on Fifth Ave.
They do that every 10 minutes or every 20 minutes or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And everybody be like crowded around waiting for the next time. I haven't seen that. I wonder if they're gonna do it this year.
Yeah, but I guess everything changed with COVID and everything. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's get into the ish. Okay. So welcome to the Straight Up Ish podcast. I'm your host, Garnet Gout. You know what? I'm just gonna say it's your boy G-Net, because by now you should know who I am. All right, you know what I do. I moderate this thing. I run this thing. I just got these two yahoos next to me.
Yo, what up, guys? Frobes, aka Froby, aka No More Feedback Frobes. Welcome back. Glad to have you guys. Strap in. It's gonna be a pretty good episode today.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Ronnie P, Ronald, Ron, whatever you're thinking for the day. I might change it up every day. I might do like Froze Baby down there. Switch up the name every time.
Yeah, I can't have a nickname next to my box because it just says Straight Up Ish podcast. Someone's got to represent the podcast.
Nah, make it longer. Make it longer.
Make it longer. It can't fit. It's filled up 3/4 of the box. Straight Up Ish podcast and then my nickname next to it. Come on, man.
You can do it. We're gonna take it. We're all gonna put Straight Up podcast, all three, and then everybody put a name.
Unless, see, it's right here on the gallery view. It's basically Straight Up Ish podcast and Froze Baby then Ronnie P. So if Matt were to put G-Net and then put tons of spaces in between, it would say G-Net, Froze Baby then Ronnie P. Or maybe I have to move the baby over to Ron's box, and then it'll say Straight Up Ish podcast, G-Net, Froze Baby, Ronnie P, or whatever the hell you picked that week. But no, I mean, they don't see the names at the bottom of the screen anyway. They don't know what the hell we're talking about. Oh my God. Anyway, this is Straight Up Ish podcast. We're like straight off the cuff, off the script. We talk it. We tell it how it is. All right. People may get triggered. People may get triggered today. It's definitely not for kids. Definitely not to be listening. Huh?
Sorry. I'll just. They're definitely gonna get triggered today. But
interrupting my spiel, man. Wait your turn. Sorry. I was looking at other episodes. I'm like, damn, maybe I'm talking over people. Maybe I need to stop. Now you talking over me now. Anyway, so we're straight off the script. Definitely not a place to listen out loud. We may say something that'll be like, "Hey, what did he say?" Listen with headphones. I highly recommend it, even though I may have to stop screaming and everything. But listen with headphones. This is like straight up. We talk about anime, we talk about movies, talk about social issues, current events, all that good stuff, bettering yourself as men and as women. You know, we don't discriminate. I also want to say what up to my peoples in Germany. Hallo, guten Tag. My peoples in Kenya, Jumbo, Hujambo. Am I saying it right? If I'm saying it wrong, then write in straightupishtalk@gmail.com. Write us your hate mail, your mail telling us, yeah, good job, I listen all the time. And hey, if you're listening right now and you enjoy the podcast, if you're listening every episode, man, tell your friends, all right? We need listeners, all right? We need to get this thing going, right? Tell your friends. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Tell other people, okay? So now we got that out the way. We're gonna talk, man. We gotta talk today. All right. So, I mean, I moved, like as you well know, I moved down in the South, down to the South, around 2019. And one of the things I noticed that, I mean, yeah, it's called the Bible Belt for a reason. But people are into God down here, man. They love God. They love God. Everywhere you look, it's like God is good. God first. My boyfriend is Jesus. Jesus is number one. Everything's God. And you roll past it. Like, not that we didn't have churches up in New York, but damn, you got like resort-looking churches down here. People love them some Jesus down here. Okay? So that's the topic I wanted to get into today. Like, just talking about, religion and see how, what people's take it is on religion. Why do we need it? Why do people use it? And guys, feel free to interject. I know I said don't interrupt me, but feel free to interject at any time. I just want to get the intro in, before you started jumping all over me. That's just wild.
All right, I'll interrupt again. Yeah, I spent 3 years in North Carolina. Currently in Albany now, but spent 3 years in North Carolina, and I couldn't drive down the street without seeing a billboard or a sign on someone's lawn saying "Thank you, Jesus," or "Jesus first," or "Jesus rocks," or something like that, or a bumper sticker or an advertisement or something like that. I mean, it's really prevalent down there. And like G said, the churches are like resorts. I mean, they're like immaculate mansions. I mean, you could obviously tell that's getting paid for somehow. But definitely more important, more prevalent down in the South. Now that I'm in Albany in New York, you do see your churches up here, but there's not as much of an emphasis on church and on God in general. Depending on what neighborhood you go to, though, usually when I go to more of the urban neighborhoods that contain more Black people, then I usually do see more of the God first, love Jesus, this and that, the Jesus hats on. I saw one lady the other day. She's got Jesus, had a baseball cap with Jesus on it. He's eating a slice of pizza. That's the first one. I've never seen that before. But definitely more prevalent down south. But I do see it a little bit up here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's not, we're not ragging on people. At least I'm not ragging on people who, they love their religion and stuff, because I don't expect to be attacked for my non-belief in religion, because I consider myself like spiritual. Like I have my own moral compass, as if you want to say that. But I mean, it was just interesting to me. Like, everybody's just like, it's just strong, almost like it's just emanating. They're saying like, I just thank God that this happened to me. I'm like, okay, yeah, like, I mean, it's just something. It's if it works for you, do you? You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, my only issue is when people take what they believe, whether it be through politics or lifestyle or whatever. I mean, it is a lifestyle, and they try to influence you or try to guilt trip you into either joining or attacking you if you don't believe in what they believe. That's what I have a problem with it. And I feel like with anything that religion is a tool, right? If you use something as a tool, you use it to fix something that you feel needs fixing inside of you. And if you use that adversely, like, you know, as a weapon, let's say, like you take a screwdriver and be like, then it becomes something else, you know? Anybody?
Yeah, definitely. I think religion is different for everyone. I agree with you where, you know, if you want to believe in a certain set of beliefs or certain lifestyle and you're not, you know, causing harm to people, then fine, great. You know, that's what you believe in. Now, if it's something you're using and then you're saying, you know, you're causing harm in the name of God, then, you know, I have a problem with that personally. But I want people to believe in what they want to believe in. You know, that helps them get through the day, get through life. I think people use religion for different things, and it's a belief. It's a set of beliefs. I don't know if that's the exact definition of religion, but there's a set of beliefs. So it's not really something concrete. You can't really argue about it. It's just something that I think some people just feel. So I just hate to hear it when people say, "Oh, well, you know, this religion is better than another one," or they criticize another religion, or they feel that they're better than another person because of their religion. I think that's wrong, to be honest with you. But you know, I'm also I believe in a higher power, higher being, but I don't necessarily feel that you have to go to a church or a kingdom hall or a synagogue or a temple to worship. Just in my opinion, and it has to be on a Sunday. And you know, I think religion gives people a certain sense of hope sometimes in their life that they may need, depending on what's going on in their life. It gives them a certain moral code to follow, moral, you know, ethics to follow as well. Some guidelines to kind of live their lives by, but I don't feel it's required to live life. And unfortunately, I don't feel that certain religions set people up for success in life. You know, I really don't, especially when it, you know, causes you to kind of limit your own free will, limit yourself in terms of your beliefs. I think sometimes it can stifle your thought process as well. Some religions are, I feel, a little too controlling in what you can do. You know, can't celebrate this holiday, can't celebrate that holiday, can't do this and that. And then if you ask the question, okay, well, why is that? Oh, it's God's way or it's God's will. Oh, okay, but that's not really, you gotta give me more than that. Especially someone who questions something. That really doesn't do it for me. I need to be a little more convinced as to why I should live in a way that you're suggesting, or in a way that you're demanding that I live by.
Right. Ron, what do you think? You're quiet over there.
I'm not interrupting. I'm just letting, you know, I'm definitely letting us all talk and get what we have to get out, because, you know, it doesn't make sense to like talk over. I object. You know, so you know, I'm still in New York, so actually we don't have signs of, and a lot of people that's like voicing their, you know, religious beliefs out here. It's more like, you know, a cultural thing. So there is no signs on people's lawns, "Love you, Jesus," and, you know, "Jesus is my God," or you know, anything like that. So, you know, it's totally different from, you know, where you guys are. There is a couple big churches, you know, you really have to find it, but most of the churches are like very small, maybe like, you know, maybe can get 200 at most in certain churches. But there are those mega churches that I think UG said, like, you be seeing out there, the mega churches, and, you know, they got ushers and people coming in droves in their cars, and they can sleep in there and do all this extra stuff, you know. the pastor comes down, like he parachutes in and whatnot. You know,
what earth is this?
I don't know. There's something out there. There's got to be one out there that the pastor parachutes in and just starts talking like there's a big hole in there in the ceiling or something. But where I'm at, they don't have too many big churches, so it's all little churches, little. But I do understand what you guys are saying about like religion. So, for my take on it, I mean, do you need, for someone who grew up in a religious background, my mom, and my dad were two different religions, so it's totally. I got to see like two points of view, and like, and me, I like when I hit 18, I kind of like. I was like, yeah, I'm done with religion. Not really done, but I stepped away. And you start to see different things like, different religions having in their cultures. Like cultures and religions are sometimes hand in hand, where it works out for that community. If you're a part of that community and this is your religion and you guys stick to that certain principle, sometimes it works out. And then there's others, where, you don't need, I don't think you need religion in your life. If you believe in a higher power, I believe that's a great thing. I think all of us do. Because, I mean, obviously, we were, evolved from, I don't know, I don't think we belong from ape or, the caveman era, which everybody thinks, and that's a college class, like facts or fiction of the Bible or religion. But
you just call me a monkey?
Exactly. No. I mean, by now we should have superpowers, though, don't you think? Like, I should be able to fly. If I was a caveman back in X, Y, and Z, back in this time, and then now I came up to Neanderthal, and now I'm a human, and now I should be like, we should be a mutant. Like, we should be all flying around. We shouldn't be looking for no car or something like that. That's just my opinion. Like right now, I think we should all be flying or underwater breathing dolls or some water world type shit.
Like, yeah, I think it's really at our level of knowledge, it can only be opinion based, and we do have like some scientific evidence here and there, but it's usually subjective. I mean, I don't know. It's really speculatory because it's that there has to be some sort of intelligence behind the design of everything. Some sort of intelligence. And like Matt says, I do believe that there is some sort of higher intelligence, not necessarily one being. Maybe it could be multiple beings. Maybe there's a theory where maybe we're a part of this being, we're just scattered across. Like if you take a cell, a cell often splits and it's in multiple different little pods or whatever. I mean, we're basically a collection of cells. We are the trees and everything, cells and atoms. And what if this intelligent being was a huge cell-like structure that occasionally, splits apart, becomes all these different wonders you see across the universe, and then eventually just recompiles itself back to that certain state. I mean, that's one theory. But like I said, it's all theory based. I don't believe that there's somebody up there sitting on a throne with a crown above the clouds, looking down, and whether or not you're cursing at somebody and everything, and be, oh, hey, told you about that. I really doubt that there's somebody. If he created like the universe and all these other planets and everything, because to think we're the only source of intelligence in the universe is pretty arrogant on our part. There's got to be other forms of existence out there. If he is deemed as a creator, like I'm an artist, right? So I create things. So I'm going to create more than just one thing. I'm not just going to create like I create cosplays, right? So that's like saying I'm a cosplayer, but I created one single cosplay and I pay attention to that one cosplay. Forget the others I made. I just pay attention to this one. I mean, I may have my favorite, but I'm going to address other things I've created. You know, I'm just going to concentrate on this one little itty bitty person out of this entire vast universe. You know, they're praying for a raise for their job or something. You know, it's silly. If you ever seen those Hubble telescope photos that take pictures of planets to scale, and there are stars and planets and celestial bodies out there that are way bigger than the Earth. Makes the Earth look like less than a speck. Now, if you have a being out there creating all this stuff, do you really think they're gonna like say, hey, you down there, that little speck, you lied. I'm gonna get you. I got a place for you, really hot. Got a place for you. You lied. I really don't. I don't believe that stuff. You know, it's arrogant for us to think that way. That we're that important. You know, and you know what? Again, I'm not ragging on anybody that believes the opposite. You know, that's people have. I think if a being created free will for something they created, the expectation be that you use it. You have the free will to formulate your own opinion. You have the free will to make a life for yourself. You have the free will to worship whatever you want to worship. You know, I don't think I think a lot of these rules and stuff, these mandates are created by man, because man is arrogant. Man is insecure. Man puts all these things up to control. That's what I believe. I don't think a higher being of advanced intelligence or advanced knowledge or whatever, because you know he would have to be more advanced than we are. We're just lesser forms. I don't think he or she or what, I don't know how to address a celestial being, but a celestial higher deity. I don't think this deity would have the same lesser attributes that we display as flawed creatures, you know, because we describe God as infallible. So he wouldn't have these traits that we claim that he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the like you said, the arrogance is that we assume, first of all, usually God is referred to as a he. Mm-hmm. So how do you even know it's a human? How do you know if it's a male? How do you know if he could be a cloud or a speck of dirt? How do you even know his or he may not even have a physical form. So I think that's the arrogance right there. But also it also is like an insecurity as well. You know, humans were flawed. So if you don't say go to church every week, God is going to strike you down or punish you. I mean, is he that insecure? Or sorry, see, that said he again. Is he or she or it or whatever that insecure that we have to abide by these certain set of rules? Or is it just that, you know, certain members of a church or whatever, a temple, whatever it may be, have just deemed these set of beliefs as a way to control the masses, really? Because I've met some people who will be as nice as pie on a Sunday, and those 6 other days they're cursing people out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But hey, I'll just go to confession next week, so all my sins will be forgiven. Really? That's all it takes? And you know, I think just in terms of the Bible, the Quran, whatever, you know, manuscript you use, it's not really based on history. It's not really based on facts. I mean, it's really made up. I mean, even look at the portrayal of Jesus Christ. There's so many different depictions of Jesus Christ. If you want to go by the Bible, they say Jesus Christ's complexion was that of copper. You know, they said his hair was that of wool. But if you go into certain churches, you see blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus Christ. So I mean, it's very. How do you know what's right? How do you know what's wrong? Is it a right and wrong? There's so many different ways to interpret it. Also, just going back to history, I mean, religion was used as a way to oppress certain groups of people. I mean, it was. Religion has such a power to it. You look at some politicians to this day that actually make political decisions based like with a foundation of their like religious beliefs, which really shouldn't happen since there's separation of church and state. But that's going into a different conversation. But even in my own experiences, I've met patients at work. I remember I drew this one lady's blood because she was a hard stick, had really tough veins. My other coworker couldn't, draw blood from her, so I said, "Hey, I'll give it a try," and I was able to get it first shot. And she said, "Oh, thank you so much. You're great. Oh, God wanted you to get this blood from me." And I said, "Okay, so what if I wasn't able to do it? Does that mean God didn't want me to get the blood from you?" Like, it just really didn't make sense. People, baseball players, they hit a home run, they're pointing up to the sky. It just like, I'm like, what are you looking at? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's not a right or wrong. And the problem is that it's a belief. It's like a feeling. And feelings and beliefs are something you can't really, you could present facts, but that's not going to be enough to sway a person's opinion, especially when it comes to religion. But even dating back to the days of slavery, I mean, religion was used to oppress. I mean, it was. So I think there is some benefits to it. But I feel there are a lot of bad things. I think with it. And I can go later into my own experience with growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. I think we'll get into that later. But just it's something that again, if God gave us the ability to question, why are we then discouraged from questioning what we hear or read in the Bible? It's kind of contradictory.
Yeah, I remember having a debate with someone at work. He's very devout, and I was saying like, well, and I asked him the same thing. If God gave us all this free will, right, to make our own decisions and stuff, why is there? It's like saying like, and the guy said, well, he's doing that to test us. Why does he need to test us? What's he testing us for? If you want to be a certain way as a creator, as a supreme being, if you want me a certain way, make me that way. Like I said, when I draw a picture, when I draw pictures of a tattoo or for Matt or for myself, I'm gonna draw it the way. If I want it a certain way, I'm gonna draw it that way. I'm not gonna draw it a certain way and be like, you better be, point at it and say, hey, you better turn yourself into something. If I gave let's say for argument's sake, it had free will. If I draw it a certain way and tell it, hey, you better change. But you gave me free will. Yeah, but you better use it the right way. Well, why not make me that way? And I'm like, what do you like? I'm trying to ask this dude, like, what do you test? What is he testing for? And why, if he's a supreme, infallible being, why does he need to test these insignificant things? Why does he need to feel validated that we have love for him?
He's insecure.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we
like
made God an image, which, again, arrogance.
Yeah, this is more of mankind dipping their toe into what's supposed to be this universal rule that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't have sex before marriage, you can't do this or whatever. And like I said, we'll get into that. But all these crazy rules. Technically, if you interpret it the way they interpret, some scriptures will tell you it's wrong to smile and be happy. If you take it the way they translate the scriptures, and hey, I'm going to just say it, like the Bible is written by man. It was written by man or interpreted by man, you know?
Well,
that's why a lot of it says he. And that's why a lot, and I know I'm gonna get flack for this. A lot of it says he, a lot of it depicts women as evil, Eve, Jezebel, the woman who cut off John the Baptist's head. You have, and then they said like the harlot riding the 7-headed beast. All women. And it said the women was a downfall of civilization, basically. That's what they're saying. So I mean, you just gotta like, you just gotta look at it from a more open lens, you know. Ron, I know you're dying to say something. Ron keeps muting himself.
Yeah, I know. I keep muting.
Uh-oh.
So I just let you guys talk.
No, you're good.
So, you know, as far as, you know, people and their religion, you know, I do believe religion is how do I say this? It's necessary. I think a lot of the goals and the things that we have, if we didn't have like some people have different background religions. Like you have Christians, you have your Buddhists, you have your Baptists, what's the other ones? Hinduism, and, you know, etc. Like, but, you know, they're all needed in a certain way because, you know, and I looked at this probably like yesterday of how everybody in their culture / religion, if they, you know, you can see everybody how they move. You know, if you're Jewish, you know, hey, I don't be outside after a certain time at night. You know, I respect this, and the third. And yeah, like if you're in that certain religion, it will work to your benefit. You know, it's like birds that flock together. You don't see a pigeon and a sparrow hanging out together, flying through the area, you know, through the sky. You always see a pigeon. Pigeons go pigeons, sparrows go sparrows, you know, eagles go eagles. So, you know, I see the benefits of certain religions having, and telling you, okay, this is what you gotta do. This is who you're only gonna mess with. If she's not this, you don't mess with her. And I don't believe in it because I feel like, you know, everybody should be open to who they like and what they like, you know, and you will never know, you know, until you test your waters. And, you know, but, you know, religion is like, hey, you don't talk to this person. You know, you can say hello, but you don't mess with them. You don't deal with them. They will turn you bad. And, you know, I don't always agree with that. I think that, like, as far as, like how Matt said, like the lady was like, God wanted you to, you know, draw my blood. If I can, and I'm like, and I would have said, like, really, lady, like, you know, but some people believe in it, and you know, I don't question it. You know, maybe that's how you felt today. You know, sometimes you know, for them, it's like they needed that type of faith in a person or faith in God to get them to go to this person. So I think that with that lady, it's just like, she wouldn't have went to Matt. Matt is a professional that draws blood every day. He went to school, he went to this, he did it. So he knows to try to find this thing. And that lady just needed God as faith that Matt's gonna do what he needs to do. You know, weird shit, you know. You know, I'm you know, I mean, I'm in and out of you know, like I still use certain religious beliefs in my life because I'll be honest, certain things I just know I would fall a little deeper. That's one thing I do know about religion is like if you don't have certain backgrounds, it does have a bad effect. Like, you know, if people don't tell you, and like you said, G, it's a man-made, Bible is man-made. I mean, you know, will it be made by somebody who spoke to God? Probably, or just people who have the same beliefs and say, yeah, let's put this down on paper, and people will go with it. Like, I don't know if you guys remember the Book of Eli, that movie.
Yeah, I remember.
With Denzel, yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, to me, that was like the same type of way of religion. If you ever seen that movie where he's like got to protect the Bible, like, but people don't know it's the Bible; they just know it's a book. And that the bad guy is like, I need that book because I can control the masses. I can control everybody with that book, and he's actually right. Like in a sense, he's actually right. So, you know, like if you saying to a person, you know, you put in the Bible, thou shalt not kill. Everybody in the world knows you should not kill. You should not kill. Because if you don't put it in there, if you don't have it on paper, and then you have to learn about if you don't have stuff on paper, somebody will walk up, and the people that don't read it or don't know it, those are the ones that, and I'm not gonna say all, but some people is just like, yeah, I'm gonna go outside and kill you, and kill you, and kill you. And then when they do catch it, it's like, what? What happened? I didn't know I couldn't do this. Who told you? You know what I mean? So, you know, it's weird when you have to like think about how certain things in religion or in the Bible, religion is just like, it does matter. It does matter to life in these days. You know, not everything, like, you know, but I do believe it's some.
Well, like
I think the problem with religion is that it's too open for interpretation, where you have people that are a little too extreme with it, because now we're looking at, and what's tomorrow's date? September 11th, the 20th anniversary of September 11th. So when you're at the point where you say, hey, you're an extreme, say if you're in terms of, say if you're Muslim, you know, what happened September 11th, hey, whoever you pray, say Allah says, hey, I should kill you because you don't believe in my religion. And I feel justified because God has told me, informed me to do so. So I think that's more of an issue, that religion is such a, it's not cut and dry. It's not black and white. There's so many ways to interpret the Bible. I mean, there's so many ways to justify, well, hey, you know, I feel justified in killing you, even though some religions say, yeah, thou shalt not kill. But then you have other people who are a little more extreme, where it says, hey, I should kill you because I'm going to go, you know, everlasting life, or because God is telling me I should do so. And I think that was the basis. I mean, it was more with September 11th, but I think that was the justification behind September 11th. That, hey, you know, I'm willing to die for my God. I mean, and that's like how, and I'm sure they're not the only people. Like, I'm willing to kill for my God. And I think that's the point where it becomes dangerous, where it's like, man, now we're getting to that extreme, like, echelon of, like, religion.
Yeah, like I said, but Ron saying he used the Bible, he used this and that. Like I said before, religion is a tool, just like anything else. Like for a car, you could either use it to drive from A to B, or use it to run someone over. You know, so I think, and Matt's right, I think it becomes wrong when people choose to weaponize it by saying that, you know, like, or you said God damn or whatever, you know, you're going to hell, or you're gonna get struck by lightning or whatever. When they choose to like shame you for not believing or doing things that are contrary to what they believe, they don't see it as like, they don't see it as, you know, it's just my belief. They see it as fact. That is fact. All right, that is a universal thing. So basically, what you believe is wrong, what I believe is right. And you better get on the same page or you're going somewhere. All right. And I think it becomes wrong because I know the whole thing with religion was meant to give people a sense of structure. Because let's face it, back in the day, like eons, centuries ago, you know, people were stupid. Well, they're stupid now, but people were very stupid. people were very poor, poorly educated, and you had a select few who were in the ruling class that were educated. And hey, we need something to control these motherfuckers. And we need to say, hey, don't kill, don't steal. They'd be like, who the fuck are you? You don't tell me what to do. I'm like, okay, well, if you don't, someone you cannot see is going to send you here. Dante's Inferno or whatever. They're going to send you here. You see these pictures? You want that? They're like, oh shit, man, I better get my shit together. I better not. No, don't have sex before marriage. You want to go to hell? Huh? No, I thought so. Don't steal the bread. Don't steal this. Don't do that. And it just evolved from there on in. And then they started adding more rules. They said, hey, you can't abort children. You know, we can make a law now. And then Matt said, we're going to eliminate the separation of church and state and say, hey, because of a God mandated law, is you can't have these abortions. You're killing people. You're killing life. You know, not because we say it, because God says it. It's all this it's fear based in a way. You know, like it's not really. I mean, yeah, I do believe that people use it to give themselves a better, because life is hard. Let's face it. Give themselves a better outlook of life in their future. You know, it helps them cope. But some people are just in fear, like straight up fear. I don't want to go to hell. All right, that's why I'm here, singing songs and listening to Pastor Evans give his sermon. I want to look good in God's eyes. I want to be there in paradise or his kingdom or whatever, you know? So when it's used correctly, when it's used to like better your life, I feel when it's used to better your life, when it's used to improve your moral compass, it's fine. Great. Do you. But when you use it to uplift yourself while downgrading others, I think it's wrong then. You know, when you're using it to harm others based off what you believe, if they don't believe it, you're using it to harm them, then yeah, that's when it becomes wrong.
Got ideas for the show? Got questions for us? Or maybe you want to tell us we suck? Hit us up at straightupishtalk@gmail.com.
And in history shows it was used for that. I mean, you look at the slaves, slave master said, hey, God wants you to be a slave. God wants you to pick this cotton. Mm-hmm. You're not going to argue against God, right? So it's just, you know, during history, it was unfortunately used to.
It wasn't even their God.
And that's what kills me sometimes with black people now is that black people will support a religion that was used to oppress their own people. Mm-hmm. Seriously? Mm-hmm. Come on. And don't even know. That's another problem with just black people in general do not know their own history. So unfortunately, they're making decisions that are against their own best interest and have no idea that they're doing it. But always make sure you put money in that contribution basket when it goes around. Mm-hmm. I mean, it kills me. It makes me think of that scene in what's the movie? South Central?
Oh, Don't Be a Mess.
But it's a comedic thing, but it's the truth. That's why it's funny. You know, like Ronald said, the pastor's coming down with a parachute. You know, he's coming
talking about past offerings.
The pastor's coming to Lamborghini. You know, it's just make sure you get that contribution bucket around the back, brother.
I can't lie, man. I look at those pastors and everything with the full white suit and everything. They be sweating bullets. Like, hey, and God said on high. That just like it cracks me up, man. I saw one guy. He had a lineup of people, and he's using his blazer, and he's swacking the demons out of people, and they're just falling all over the place. He's going like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
I see him going convulsions.
Yeah, people they got the Holy Spirit. This guy did this whole thing from his podium, and from a crowd of people, he went like, as if he's charging up a Kamehameha, and he went like to the whole audience, and they all fell back. Oh, cleansed.
Well, if you ever look at what's his name? Is it Joel Osteen? Is that his name?
Oh man, he makes a lot of money, man. He
makes
a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. If you look at the crowd, he has auditoriums full of people. Auditoriums. And this guy is paid. Paid. All in the name of God.
Because those people see the value, they will pay. This is like their lives are talking about. People take that seriously. They will pay. If you take this burden off me, I will pay any price. And that's what you get when you got people who are desperate for help, you know? And in a way, he is helping people. I mean, I can't really hate on him for, you know, his hustle. You know, he's making money and stuff, but it's kind of sad though, you know, because there's so many sources out there to help you besides paying someone else to do it. You know, paying someone else to like look at his program weekly or whatever, and you know, but it's whatever. People choose what they want to do.
Well, in a way, if you call it what it is, it's manipulation in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what it's brainwashing in a way. That's basically what it is. And if you question, you're disfellowshipped.
You know what? I gotta get into this. The straight up ish, right? The straight up ish.
So you know that's okay.
Hey, man. Hey.
I was quiet.
All right, make a quick point. Make a point.
Go.
Sure?
I understand what you're about to go ahead.
So, you guys know, I was raised like Matt, raised in the Jehovah's Witness religion. You're muted, Ron. I can't hear you.
I said, what about me?
I said, you guys know, meaning you and Matt know.
No, you said you and Matt were raised as Jehovah's.
All right, you didn't mention it. I didn't know if you want to put that on blast. But anyway, yeah, all three of us were raised at a young age of Jehovah's Witnesses. And they had certain, and you know, a lot of people know who they are by now. If you've been living on the rock, you know who they are. You know, they come to your door. Hello, have you heard the good news? So we had to do that as kids. We had to go around on weekends, possibly in neighborhoods where our classmates live, and talk about, you know, what they had us talk about. But there were certain beliefs that they had that, you know, we just didn't understand at the time. That you can't celebrate your birthday, you can't celebrate Christmas holidays, you can't salute the flag, you cannot associate. You may not associate with people outside of the organization.
Can't go to college.
And yeah, higher learning was discouraged as well. And and you know, not everybody followed it. I mean, come on, like, you know, I saw a lot of people like, because you know, because you come to find out that even though you're part of this brotherhood, this congregation, people are people. All right. So when the meeting would end, everybody go their own little cliques and stuff. And if you deviate from that little clique and you talk to someone new, they're like kind of awkward. They're like, oh, hi, hi. Well, aren't we a family? Aren't we part of this congregation? Because people are people. You know, people have their own individual reasons of why they join. You're either in the Jehovah's Witnesses because you were born into it, you were raised on it, or you were in such a state that you want hope somewhere. You know, they get people who are like emotionally vulnerable, you know, so, and a lot of the times the meetings at the Kingdom Hall were a lot of bad mouthing people of the world, the outside world. So they would say like the outside world, they teach you this. They teach you everything is dangerous out there. You know, you have to be safe under here. If you deviate from that, you're deviating from God himself. And so if you were to celebrate your birthday, first of all, the whole celebrating your birthday thing, and I have it written down here. The whole celebrating your birthday thing, let me see if I can find it. So they derived this from a scripture in Ecclesiastes, verse 7, verse 1. So They said no birthdays. They said the Bible says it, that you can't celebrate birthdays. It says because it, let's see, what does it say? A good name is better than good oil, and the day of death is better than the day of birth. Okay. What?
I don't get it.
So what does that have to do with birthdays?
I didn't get that one. I didn't get that one.
What does that do with birthdays? So basically, it was King Solomon describing that we learn lessons through going through difficult times, and then we gain wisdom from getting through those times. It said nothing about birthdays, but the reason but one reason is because, here's another reason. They said there's 3 reasons. They said because there's this king, I guess in Babylon or something, or King Nebuchadnezzar, I don't know. Someone got their head chopped off at his birthday. Oh, well, that's reasonable. Because, for my birthday, hey, my birthday's coming up next year. I want someone's head. I want someone beheaded. Will you do that for me? The third reason, the second reason was because it gives excessive attention and importance to one individual, whereas we should be devoting that to God himself. So how come we're allowed to have weddings? How come we're allowed to have graduations? How come we're allowed to have funerals? That's giving importance to one singular group, is it not? So, and then the third one is because
group and person.
Huh?
No, I was like group and person. Yeah.
Yeah. And the third reason was because it's pagan. So basically pagan is basically
pagan? I never
everything has pagan roots. Everything has pagan roots.
What does pagan mean? I just
Basically means not Christian, not Christian, not Jewish, not Muslim, whatever, not
bad pretty much.
But they make it bad. They make it bad because everything has pagan roots. Because weddings are pagan, graduations are pagan. Practically everything's pagan. Has pagan roots, some sort of pagan roots. Every type of celebration. So it's like we're picking and choosing. That's what I didn't like. That's what I'm finding out right now. But some of their other rules are basically you need permission to date. All right. And then you have to follow certain rules. So you have to have chaperones along with your date. So basically you need a cock blocker. And you have to go to certain places. If your job interferes with meetings, field service, all that stuff, you got to change it. If you're gay, they hate gay people. Oh, if you're gay, heaven help you. You can't even date. Mm-hmm. If you're gay or lesbian, you can't date. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was this video they have, right? They brought this friend over, right? They brought this friend over to a colleague's house. So this colleague, their parents were, it's the Jehovah's Witness family. And it's a video they put out. And they went to their house and they said, oh yeah, hey, so what do your parents do? Oh, my moms do this and that. They said, your moms? Oh yeah, I have 2 mothers. And they were like, oh. And you should have seen the look of disgust on the dad's face. And she's like, oh, what's the matter? Oh, well, we don't believe in that, because God, fears that gay people that don't have a place in God's kingdom or something like that. And then they portrayed the person who had a gay parents as being highly defensive, highly emotional, like, well, what do you mean? There's nothing wrong with it. And then it was just complete propaganda, They have tons of these videos. They even have a cartoon. Get the kids while they're young. It's called Caleb and Sophia. And they teach these things they teach them to be basically homophobic. They tell they have these kids telling their classmates that have gay parents that if they don't change their ways, they got no place in paradise. So you're teaching these kids to be homophobic. basically, especially in times right now. That's a real good idea. And it's just like little individual ways to ostracize yourself from the world and stuff. Because if you like were to find out the truth and everything, or find out a different opinion or a different take that goes against what they say, and if you continuously do it, they say basically they disfellowship you, which is shunning, which they claim not to believe in, but they do. If you have a family member who's disfellowship, you can't even talk to them. You basically, bad association spoil useful habits. This is what the scripture said. Yeah, they say that you are basically ostracized. You're basically like the plague. You don't want to spread. They don't want it spreading throughout the congregation. They don't want you giving them people ideas that deviate from what they're teaching, what their indoctrination is. And that sounds like, I'm sorry to say it, that sounds like a damn cult.
Yeah.
It does. In fact, it's share the screen time. Let's share the screen. Hold on a second. Share sound. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. Oh, that's my email. Go look at that. Come on. What the hell? This computer sucks. Computer sucks. Come on. Oh my God. Here we go. So this is theguardian.com. Reputable paper.
I don't even see. I just see blackness.
You see
darkness. Oh wait, there. Did not see pigs. Okay.
Okay.
Rick Ross.
Oh, yeah, written by Rick Rose. The question is, what makes a cult? Okay, and we'll just speed down to the downward here. So, some telltale signs is charismatic leader who increasingly becomes an object of worship as the general principles may have originated or sustained the group lose power. This is a living leader, has no meaningful accountability, and becomes the single most defining element of the group and its source of power and authority. Okay, well, that's a little long-winded way to say, a leader or group, basically. A process of indoctrination or education that is in use that can be seen as coercive persuasion or thought reform, commonly called brainwashing.
Hey, that's what I said.
Huh?
That's what I mentioned before.
Yeah. Economic, sexual, or, well, the sexual, they'll demonetize me because I said that. Sexual or other exploitation of group members by the leader and the ruling coterie. I don't know. I suck at pronunciation. Because the destructiveness of groups called cults vary by degrees from labor violations, child abuse, medical neglect, to, in some extreme isolated situations, call for violence or mass suicide. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But here's some other warning signs. So, absolute authoritarianism without meaningful accountability, no tolerance for question or critical inquiry, no meaningful financial regarding budget or expenses, such as an independently audited financial statement, unreasonable fear about the outside world, such as an impending catastrophe, evil conspiracies, and persecutions. There is no legitimate reason to leave. Former followers are always wrong in leaving, negative or even evil. Former members often relate to the same stories of abuse and reflect a similar pattern of grievances. There are records, books, news articles, or broadcast reports that document the abuses of the group or leader. Followers feel they can never be good enough. The group or leader is always right. The group/leader is the exclusive means of knowing truth. Exclusive means of knowing truth, because, the JWs, they nickname themselves the truth, or receiving validation or no other process of discovery is really acceptable or credible. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that checks off a lot of boxes. That's just me. That's just me. And that's from the Guardian, reputable paper. I mean, there's several other sources and stuff, but yeah, you can't have blood transfusions, basically life-saving surgeries. Why? Because somewhere back in the day, again, maybe have been Sodom and Gomorrah, they engaged in cannibalism and drank blood. How is that the same thing as injecting blood to save someone's life? You tell me. Drinking blood, vampirism. No one is, the doctor's not drinking anybody's blood. The person who's dying is not drinking anybody's blood. What if it's a family member, your aunt, uncle, mother, daughter, son? You're gonna say, well, no. God said, God, let him die. I remember asking my mom and dad when I was younger that when we were in Jehovah's Witnesses, that they're talking about only those who are part of the organization will be saved. And at the time, my grandma and grandpa, they're Catholic. And I asked, what about them? What do they die? And I guess they said yes, because they don't follow the teachings or whatever. And that's what I mean by this controlling thing, the weaponizing it. That's not what's intended to help also hurts. It's that's I don't know. I just don't like that. That's why I'm jaded with religion. That's my experience. I can't speak for Matt. I can't speak for Ron. That's my experience. Because I didn't celebrate my first birthday till I was like 16. I didn't know what to do. I felt mad awkward. I was like, whoa, what's a cake with candles? Wow. This is crazy. A lot of things, I remember I had to sit at they had a Halloween party in kindergarten. I had to sit in the damn corner watching them eat all the candy corn. Now, I don't like candy corn, to be honest, but not participating in stuff, it hurts as a little kid. You're a little tyke. And saying, no, you can't do it because, the religion, this part of the world is pagan. Can't do it. So that's why I'm turned off to it. It's how they teach you how to behave. It's behavioral modification. I don't like that shit. But anyway, I'm done.
You can let Ron go. I think Ron wanted to say something.
Yeah, Ron's dying to go. Hold on, let me take it earlier. It's hot in here.
No, it's like, I definitely know the same feeling. Like I said, I was, raised from, I think, childbirth and, as a Jehovah's Witness. So, I had my mom is Jehovah's Witness, my dad is Baptist. So, I had to see the conflict of both. But ultimately, I went with my mother 99% of the time, I'm going to say, 98% of the time I went with my mother. There's only a few times where I wasn't went to my dad's church and went to hang out with them and seen how that side is. And, at a young age, you really don't know the difference. But, you notice the difference, but you don't know the difference. And, little by little, I started to learn. But, yeah, as a witness, it's just not, that's reason, once I became 18, I was like, this isn't for me because I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. And you stated, not having birthday parties, not, going to school. And yeah, did I want to salute the flag? I still don't want to salute the flag. But, watching kids salute the flag or just having birthday parties, like, hey, everybody's having a birthday. And I have to say to myself, no, I'm a witness. Can I be excused? And then having to go out to the cafeteria or somewhere else, or in just being on the side of the classroom, being excluded from that. You guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So hold on for a second. Shoot. Oh, my screen is here. So yeah, it's just it's crazy with that, you don't really, and I have a daughter and I never really pushed those issues on her because, I mean, I, got her trained. I, gave her a little bit of guidance about witnesses and stuff like that. She's been to the whole. But yeah, it's just like, dude, I can't date nobody. Like, I can't date nobody. And I mean, it was, you get some pretty good witness girls, but it's just like,
oh yeah,
I can't really, yeah. Like,
you already know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's really beautiful women as visual witness and stuff like that. But I can't really I gotta get to know you a certain way. I gotta have a chaperone. I gotta, we can't talk. We can't really be around each other unless somebody else is there, or we can't hug. We can't, be affectionate until we're married and, all this other stuff. And it's like, I understand it. I understand where you're going. Is that reality? Unless you want to make it your reality, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Like Christmas, the worst thing is like, I can't have Christmas. I can't have gifts. Knowing that my dad is not a witness, it's like, he's got to be respectful and be like, yeah, you can't have it, but here's a Nintendo 64. You know what I mean? Or here's a Genesis. It's like, I can't get it, right? Yeah. But it's not on Christmas stuff. It's the day after. Haha, got you. Or before it. Or, on your birthday. So it's like, you kind of, certain things. You don't want to. I get the self, you don't want people to be worship. And the only person should be worship is God. But recognition is nothing, recognition and worship is two different things, So, recognize being alive, being good, being this, recognize is not a bad thing. It's just an interpretation. Of course, like you said, with the blood and, knowing that, or just people that are not in your religion will die. And the funny thing is, it's like, that sucks. That sucks to know that, that's not a good feeling to know that everybody's going to die. If you're not with this clique, you're not following the rules, you're going to die. You're not inheriting the paradise, all that. It's like, what? You mean I'm going to lose all these people that I know? And only this amount of group is going to live in a whole earth? It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people gone. Weird. Like I said, I do understand some of the teachings, like, a couple of them I still kept to this day. I don't smoke. I don't defile my body or whatever. But everybody has, defiling is your own definition, because, they'll put so many rules on you and just like, what? I can't do this? Can't? Why? You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm that's a very hard religion to know that you could be disfellowshipped for any reason, literally any. You go out there, you kiss the girl, oh my God, disfellowship. We're not on a date, disfellowship. You have sex, disfellowship. You smoke weed, disfellowship. Like, where's the love? Where's the love that you supposedly saying every day you're supposed to get? Now I can't talk to you, you can't talk to me. If my whole family is in this one religion, they can't talk to me. So now I'm ostracized, and now I have to depend on this world you told me to stay away from. Mm-hmm. How weird is that? Mm-hmm. Like, that doesn't make sense. You're telling me, that world is bad. I make a mistake. You send me out to this world. Hey, you got to go to this world.
Because basically your stage of development is from 3 to 7. So if you spend those years in the truth, learn, and you're basically being prepped for the end of the world. You're not being prepped for college. You're not being prepped for getting a job or raising a family or anything like that in the world. You're being prepped for the end of the world, fireballs and shit. And then once you leave that place, once you leave them, and you're, like you said, put out in this world, what to do. And that's how it was with me. I was like, damn, like, because like you said, there were a lot of girls in the Kingdom Hall. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and you're growing up and you're going through puberty and stuff. And you start looking at these girls a little differently and stuff, start noticing things. And no one there's gonna, no, they did not encourage that. They didn't even teach you how to handle yourself. You know, we just acted like a whole building full of virgins. We're just like, oh God, girl, man. So it's, you don't know how to approach a girl. You don't know how to approach it, and you'll carry that once you're out. You don't know how to handle yourself. Those girls will look at you like you're some sort of alien. You're like, excuse, and you develop like a fear, and that's the problem. Like you have that's why you ask where's the love, but the thing is you don't really feel it. Like, yeah, some individuals there, you know, you'll find that they're really good people, and I will deny there are tons of good people in this organization. I'm not really blaming the people. I'm blaming the organization. And the thing is, though, they is like a atmosphere of fear, you know, fear of being shunned, fear of being hit with fireballs, fear of dying, fear of not entering God's kingdom, or, you know, or fear just being by yourself, not having that support group. And that's how they get them, you know, especially during COVID. I heard like they say like, well, since we can't really contact people, let's do studies via Zoom. Let's do it by sending emails, by sending letters and all that stuff, inviting them here and there. That was their formula. So if there was ever a time people were feeling despair or alone, it was during COVID time. So what better way to reach, because you're by yourself, right? So if you leave us, you're all alone. You're all alone. You can't visit people in person. So you're all alone. And then you'll have, you know, then of course, you know, depression will follow, you know, maybe suicide or whatever, you know. You'll have all these things happening. And that's their perfect formula, is to go after people at their most vulnerable. Have them, so it's not, while it should be an atmosphere of love, it's really an atmosphere of fear, you know, fear of all those elements. And that's not a good thing, because you have no unity, you know. You can't be really unified in fear because it's shaky, you know, because you raise a whole bunch of people, you raise a whole bunch of people who are snakes in sheep's clothing. I won't say wolves, I say snakes, because wolves are majestic creatures. So you'll have people spying on people in public, looking through the walls, and that looks like Jessica over there. Who's that? I never seen him at the meeting before. Oh my gosh, he's of the world. I must tell someone. Pew! They tell the elders and everything. It gets back there. Like, what kind of love is that? You're snitching on people. You're just looking to get people. Like, I'll tell you what. It was very strange to see the world that they badmouth, and I find such kind people when I go out there. When I see charitable people, I see organizations trying to raise money for cancer awareness or do all this and that. This is the evil world. Meanwhile, I'll tell you a little story. My dad and mom back in the Bronx, when they were leaving a meeting, and these people, I think they needed a ride home. So they gave them a ride home. They got into an accident, right? And those people, those witnesses, those loving people, tried to sue my mom and dad for them getting hurt. God's people? These are loving people that they describe in the Watchtower? Oh, yeah, the Watchtower. So the Watchtower, for those who don't know, is one of their many publications that we just read and comment on weekly at the Kingdom Hall, which, you know, they show questionable pictures. And the way they depicted Black people, just getting off topic for a minute, the way they depicted Black people was very interesting. You know, we're always chained up or in, you know, struggling. Like I said, yeah. The Egyptians, I had to find out from my dad. I was like, I thought the Egyptians were white because they depicted them as white people. And the Charlton Heston movie didn't help either. But yeah, he like, man, that was a discovery for me. I think I was like maybe 9 years old. Isn't that sad? 9 years old. Discovered that black people, Egypt has black people. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, what were you saying, Matt?
Well, I think first of all, I got a few points, and I'll try to stay on track here. But I think first of all, it kind of causes you to remain a little ignorant as well. Just kind of discouraging people from obtaining knowledge elsewhere. But I'll kind of look at first of all my experiences growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. I'll start with the good things first. There aren't many, in my opinion. First of all, I enjoyed the cheese and apple danishes at the conventions. Those were very good. I enjoyed the egg sandwiches, little vanilla puddings and stuff like that. I used to sleep during the meeting.
That has nothing to do with them. That's the vendor they chose. You better thank the vendor, not the me.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Ron knows. See those danishes, boy.
Bro, wait, not to interrupt, but you remember? I don't know if you were there, Ron, but I think like in order to get food, we had to make a contribution. So I took a piece of paper, right, and I wrote $1 bill. I folded it up and slipped it into that little contribution box and said, all right, let's get our Danish.
So wrong.
I got it for us, man.
But yeah, it's just, I mean, I remember you talk about the Watchtower. It's funny, I remember on Sundays, mom and dad dressing me up in that doo-doo brown suit, with the high water pants, putting that little fake stupid part in my hair.
Oh, God, I hated that. It was just take that pick in my scalp, man. That freaking hurt.
Just the amount of time you had to devote. So you're talking about 4 days a week. Say if you're saying Tuesday book study, which the best part about that was the apple pie and those donuts we get after the book study. Thursday is the meeting, or Friday for some congregations. Saturday, field service. And don't let one of your friends catch you out in the streets like, yo, why are you wearing a suit? Yeah. Sunday, the Watchtower study. And the best part about that is maybe to be able to go to the deli across the street.
Here we go. The food, man. So basically the good part was the food.
Basically. But as a kid, I mean, growing up, that's what I cared about. But I one other thing I remember is just a side note, the Watchtower study. They say, okay, can someone answer question 1A, part A for us? Oh, can you get the little brother in the back, please? The little brother in the back. And they get that microphone, and they got to drag that long wire. The microphone wire wraps around the Kingdom Hall 4 times. Let's drag us, let's hit people bumping into it and stuff. Let's bring that wire down to the little brother. Little brother, can you answer the question?
He worked so hard to get there.
And then he's looking around, he's like, all right, it's my time to shine. Yes, Jehovah. He weren't like,
everybody's like,
I believe the question was, how could we better send our message out?
If people were clapping, they're like, that didn't answer the question at all. That long cord, that microphone, they got wrapped around the entire building. But those are things I remember, and trust me, I was the one at home, as a little kid, reading songs from the songbook and reading them with pride. I was doing that probably on a daily basis, doing my little practice mock meetings at home. Some of my friends would come over. I'd have them singing the songs from the songbook as well. But now, as a grown man, not in the truth anymore, and also after going to college, and now you start to be around people who think differently, different, lifestyles as well. When I do inform certain people that, hey, I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, even though it wasn't how many decisions can you make as a kid? You don't really have a choice. But it's embarrassing, honestly. That's how I feel when I say that. to say that I was a Jehovah's Witness, I'm embarrassed by that comment. And I'm ashamed. Now, some people may not feel that way, fine, but me personally, I'm embarrassed by that. I've talked to some friends even nowadays who have grown up. You guys know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to share any names, but they feel that as a result of growing up in that religion, that their life is worse. Unfortunately, the religion isn't one where it encourages confidence in oneself, especially if you're a woman. Women are supposed to be submissive to the man, and the man can do no wrong. I've read stories where one brother sexually abused this underage child and thought there was nothing wrong with it. He's now in jail. But, it's stuff like that. That's why it's dangerous. It really is. But as a result, I think some women who grew up in the truth, they don't know their worth. So unfortunately, they made certain decisions. Now, also, you're being asked to go against your own biology. As you grow up, you go through puberty, you're going to be interested in sex. I mean, it just happens. So to be asked to suppress that feeling is really stupid in a way, because it's going to come out eventually. You're going to be curious. As kids are curious. So why not educate kids in terms of that, knowing the curiosity of kids, knowing the hormones, knowing the science, but again, that's another topic. The science behind it, to say, hey, let's actually try to educate our young brothers and sisters to be successful later on in life. Because I don't think that being a Jehovah's Witness growing up did not set me up for success whatsoever. If anything, it made things harder for me. So now you have to counteract that whole, you have to pretty much counteract it. And now just at this age of in my 30s, now I've got to learn how to be confident. Now I've got to learn how to see my own worth. Especially, like I said, I've talked to women my age who unfortunately met men who treated them like crap, like shit. And they just put up with it because they didn't know their own worth. They grew up in a religion where it's, hey, I guess this is just what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to serve this man, no matter if he's whooping my ass or not. And as a result of this, growing up in this religion, some of their childhoods they hated. They hated their childhoods as a result. You don't know how to have a birthday party, how to throw a birthday party. How do you do that? You don't know what to do during Christmas. Do I get a gift now? Do I wait until Christmas Eve? You can't, nope, you can't go to college. I mean, just think about how many disadvantages you have growing up with all that. And the most important, you have no inner confidence, no self-worth. So if you go along, especially as a female in this world, and you got some sharks out there, some wolves out there, going in as a woman, you're going to get taken advantage of. You're going to get taken advantage of. And it really is, I think, just growing up, and I think it's just, you're doing a disservice to people, in my opinion. There are some good elements to it, mostly the food. But yeah, there are definitely some good elements to it. I'm not saying it's all bad, but from my experience growing up in that, not being able to trick or treat, we got Halloween coming up next month. I've never trick or treated in my life. I remember having a birthday party, no one showed up, and this was at middle school age. So, like you said, Garrett, being a kid and looking around, and kids aren't stupid; they pay attention. You see all these other kids having birthday parties, all these other kids opening up Christmas gifts, and you have nothing. Like, that's a problem. That really is. And, that really is a problem. And like I said, especially, and I've talked to women who've grown up in the same religion, that as a result, their life in a way is ruined because of that foundation. And when you're growing up, yeah, ages 3 to 7, those are critical developmental years. And to unfortunately go through those years as a Jehovah's Witness, I think you're worse off. I really do, in my opinion. So, to sum it up, without going too much of a tangent, my experiences as a Jehovah's Witness are not good ones. They really aren't. And I'm, it's something I went through. I didn't have a choice, obviously. Mom and dad, that's, as a kid, you have no choices. But I'm not proud of it. It really is an embarrassment, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And to piggyback off you, yeah, I mean, I went through it a lot longer, but I thought it was like you said, there were good things and stuff. Like I don't have to tell you how many times I always talk about the girls that had crushes on and everything, and that I can't stop talking about and everything. And I did like the gatherings they would have, which had a lot of food and the camaraderie and stuff. And there were a lot of good people and stuff. But I'm not, and I'm not here to attack the people or anything. I just believe that the organization is at fault because its mission, it's not congruent to allowing a person to grow. So when you say they should teach people how to navigate through their feelings, how to control their emotions and stuff, that's not really their deal. That's not their purpose. Their purpose is to control. Their purpose is to make people dependent on them emotionally, mentally, physically, with everything. That's why they have these meetings 4 times a week, majority of the week. That's why they have you devote 60 hours a month to do field service, to spread the word or whatever. That's why they tell you, do not seek out further knowledge. Do not even associate, don't talk to, unless you have to, people of the world. But what kills me is that they utilize a lot of tools of the world. They're not like the Amish. They're not like, stick to their guns and everything. They use what they can. They use what they need to get ahead, and that comes from a real devious position. They don't practice what they preach. Really, it's really kind of rules meant for the lower tier people, for them to follow. The people who are being controlled. The people who are up at the top don't have to adhere to the rules they set up because they deem themselves basically the word of God themselves. So if you oppose them, you're opposing God. But it's not. So yeah, I'll agree with you that not everything was bad, but that was based off individual decisions. And I think a lot of people arbitrarily followed their own path while still. So there are some that are more devout than others. I'll say that. There are some more into the truth, a lot stricter. There are a lot of people who are a little more easygoing. So on an individual basis, I don't harbor any ill will. It is what it is. But the organization itself, a lot of what they teach, practically everything they teach, I just don't agree with. Like I said, you need some sort of basis. You need some sort of moral foundation. And I think you can get that from any religion or any parent that has a good head on their shoulders. But majority of the things they teach is nonsense. It's contradictory. It's on the logic is shaky. It's meant to control. That's all it is. It's meant to control the masses of those who they follow and make them dependent. That's why, yeah, when you do leave, like I was the same as you. When I left the truth, I was like a fish out of water. I didn't know where the hell to turn. I didn't know how to talk to people. They basically, when you're not allowed to seek out knowledge on your own, it keeps you childlike. It keeps you ignorant. So a lot of things that kids in your demographic or people in your demographic know already from the jump, you're just learning.
You're behind the 8 ball.
It's like you're basically blindfolded for all those years. That's how it is for me. I mean, for a lot of people, but for me, that's what I'm talking about. Ron, I'm sorry. What are you trying to say? You trying to say something?
No. I said the same thing. You are in a lot of ways you are behind a lot of you know, if you were in a certain age range, you are behind in a lot of things. Like so for me, I'll say it was difficult. It was definitely difficult being a witness as a younger kid. Um, like I said, like going and knocking on doors, and especially like, or going and seeing people from your school, and then having to see them at school, and then seeing them knocking on their doors, and families you at a younger age, you're being cursed out by older men, older people, just because you're trying to deliver a message to them, and they're like, get away, blah, blah, blah. That, in a way, it's like, damn, Dad, you coming at me, but, like at that certain age, and you're learning, what I will give is, I learned to talk to people. I did learn how to talk to people and learn, to be a little more outspoken when it comes down to talking to people when I don't. But, there's nothing, dealing with younger kids and they don't know, and you have no control of what you're learning because you're learning from a young age. Hey, mom and dad told me go here, I'm going. Your children at school are like, hey, who's knocking at my door? Or ha ha ha, and you're in this thing, you don't like that, and you're not even taught how to deal with it. You're not. It's like, all right, we're just gonna keep going to the next one. I'll go to the next one. I'll go out every Sunday and Saturday, and like Matt said, 4 days a week, you're out there doing your thing. You're out there learning, especially when you were like 3, 4, 5, where school wasn't really school. You was in school for like a couple hours and you're back with your parents or whatever, and you're out there in the street, morning service. So you wasn't really meant. So that wasn't the amazing experience. I mean, I like I said, I learned a lot. So I'm not gonna badmouth everything because I learned a lot. I had great people who looked after me, took care of me as a younger child, that I look forward to at the age that I am, seeing them still to this day. If I see them in the street, it's good morning and it's good night, and I miss you and I love you, and and they'll say, oh, I remember you as a little child, and those are the good experiences. And, growing up with them, with even you guys, like I would probably never really know you guys unless from this experience. Yeah. So from our families just being related into this religion, we would have probably never met because everybody was on one side of the world. But definitely certain things from this religion is like, yeah, you can keep a child. I think if you do have it and you do support it, it should be a certain amount of age range that you should be there. Like, yeah, okay, you want to keep it from like maybe 3 to, if you want to do, I'd say 16 to be honest. 16, 17 to be honest, maybe 16, because at this time now you're learning. You're learning to be a on your own. You got to go to high school. Everything is taught to you that you're being independent, and now you have this religion on your head telling you, yo, you can't learn all this stuff. These people, whatever they're telling you, don't listen to that. Now you got a big old conflict going on in your head, and then once by the time you do leave, you're already messed up with the world because people are making moves, and you're trying to figure out where your life is about to go, and you have no idea of where your life can go. You don't have an idea of the job. They told you this job is bad, that job is bad. Don't talk to this. This is this. You're like, yo, where do I go?
Hey, you made it this far? Well, you might as well subscribe. Come on, you know you want to.
I think those are decisions that can ruin like the rest of your life, possibly.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it.
Yeah. Don't associate with this type of people, or don't associate in this type of environment. So you telling me I'm a I'm a business, or I'm a flight attendant. I can't get on this plane because I'm about to go into this different culture. They're gonna show me all these different things that I gotta like be tunnel vision on, and I can't see. I can't see what the world is like. I have to stay here. And don't get me wrong, there's witnesses all over the world. You'll get some type of culture, some type of different culture. But like at the end of the day, I have to literally find these people to find whatever, I'm not going to get a chance to see the rest of the world. So I think at a certain age, I think that's when it should be appropriate, maybe from your 27s to whatever age, where you get a chance to really make that decision. Do I want to be in this? Do I feel like this is my cup of tea? But like, it's definitely an experience. It's definitely not like going through it with a lot of, like I said, school. Like I went through it from whole high school. They're in high school, and it's like, people knowing, they see you, and even at that day, it's like, hey, you a witness? Oh man! And then there's some people I met as a witness, and we're still cool to this day. And it was like, I remember you knocking on my door. It's like funny, you can laugh at it now, but back then it's like, you're kind of like, is this person gonna hurt me? Like you really got to worry about this stuff, like at that age.
You kind of want to keep it on the low, like in school. Like you a witness, like nah. Like didn't I see you walking on the street? No, that wasn't me.
Right. Right, like yo, I gotta
like I'm a witness, but just like keep that between me and you, like.
Yeah,
man, like
back
then you had this badge of shame because you're the only person with that label, So even now when I hear like Jehovah's Witness, it gets a little twinge. I'm like, that was a little trigger there. I hear that if I hear the term Jehovah's Witness on TV or in public, I'm like, because it caused my ear to twitch a little bit,
Yeah.
Because it really has an effect on you. That's a lot to take in as a kid, saying that you have to draw attention to yourself. I was a shy kid. I was a shy little fat kid. And the last thing I wanted to do was draw unduly attention to myself, by not saluting the flag. And people be like, why are you not saluting the flag? Like my folks had to actually come in and inform the teacher that, hey, it's not part of our beliefs or whatever, all that stuff. And then, so other kids, they're not as understanding because they're basically, hey, we got to do this. Why can't you? And then they usually get the message like, no, he can't celebrate birthdays, or no, he can't. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to ask of a kid. You used to have because they used to have birthday parties in class. And they're passing out the cupcakes and stuff. You can't even have a cupcake. There were some kids that were like, yeah, you can have it anyway. Then it's it's a lot. It's a lot to ask. It really is. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah, we met each other through religion and everything. And hey, I'm not knocking anybody that does it. That's a Jehovah's Witness or anything like that. I'm talking about the organization itself, that they can't put these expectations on people. Whether it be kids, whether it be old people, whether it be emotionally vulnerable people, because I've been to other churches. I've been like, I went to this one church with this chick on Easter Sunday. It is a much different experience, but never did I hear that, well, those witnesses, they're trouble. You got to stay with their trouble. No, they never badmouthed any other denomination. They just said this little scripture, sang our songs, got the little communion wafers, and that's it. And if you felt a sense of like just that thing about that loving atmosphere, that's what I felt there. It wasn't an atmosphere that you have to be afraid, be very afraid. It's just basically there to help people. I'm not saying that they're a perfect religion. It was a Presbyterian church. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they have their belief system. They just have their belief system. It's not one of exclusion, It's not one of elitism. It's basically generally there to help if you need it.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Like, I mean, I've been to a couple of different churches and different religions, and I got to see how different people work. It's like, whoa, this is different than this one, and this one is different. Like, Baptist is like more like, they all follow the same God, God, and this is your morals, and this is what you should be doing, and it's let's go have Sunday dinner. We all go and eat or eat at the church. Eat at the church. You go and eat at the my father's church. They had like the kitchen downstairs. So that's what most of the churches in Harlem pretty much had. The church had a kitchen or a dining area in their church, in the kitchen. So you go downstairs and like the whole service is over. Everybody done danced, sung, and they prayed. And then you go and eat downstairs, and then that's your communication time where you're like really talking with everybody. The ladies of the church or those who were serving basically fed you. They fed you. You had your time. They made sure the kids was good. You had your Bible study up there. So the kids had their own separate Bible study. They weren't really right there with the parents learning the same information because they needed a different type of mold, which was weird. And I like I said, I appreciate learning a lot at that age. You learn different culture, different religions. I think I went to like a Catholic church. I went to one of those. It was interesting. A little long. We're not against a little long, but a lot of things about like I said, religion.
Yeah, we only meet once a week. Maybe.
Yeah, like once a week, and it's super long, and and another thing, like like I always hear I went to church on New Year's. I'm like, I went to church on New Year's, went to church on Christmas, and things like that. Like, I was like, "Are you waiting for the world to end? Am I missing something?" Like, I didn't understand that. Like, you went to church for New Year's, okay? But I do see a lot of differences with the culture, religion. Some of it is for good. Some of it, like I always look at some of these different cultures. Like like I have a couple of people that are from Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, all those. They all like keep that money. Like I always see it like they're buying up to certain places. You're like, but they're also in the like working in the small time business, Dunkin' Donuts, 7-Eleven, stuff like that. And you're like, these little money, little jobs that you got, how you getting all this other stuff? And then you learn from it's the religion part that's getting that they're putting all that pool money and they're buying all these different things. And like how Matt was saying, it's crazy, Black people were brought into the certain religion, and it's the ones that oppress them the most. It's crazy. It's crazy because there's no type of unity in that type of religion. It's like when you look back medieval times, like the church, you had different religions. Not really. You fought for the church, you fought for the king. You was dying for your God or your Lord. You know what I mean? So it was weird. But I'm probably going off the topic.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, this is to sum it up and everything. Like, again, like if religion is if it helps you, it's a tool. It's a tool like a hammer or screwdriver. If you use it correctly, it can help. So I'm not against religion. I'm just saying that religion is not for me because I found an outlet and personal spiritual, a personal spiritual, I don't know, moral code for myself that is not in need of a structured organization to tie it with. So, but if you feel you need religion, then go for it. But don't chastise other people for not believing in what you believe. And I know I have, that's gonna trigger some friends and family and everything that are into certain religions, but you know what? That's just what it is. What it is. I don't agree with what Jehovah's Witnesses represent. I don't agree with the organization. I'm not attacking any individual people that feel that it helps them, because if it does, great, awesome. It's not for me. I don't feel I have a need. God, whoever you want to call him, Yahweh, Alanis Morissette, whoever you want to call him, gave me free will in order to exercise it. And I'm exercising my free will to seek out my own path. This is your path. I'm not going to follow your path. I'm going to follow my path. I don't expect you to follow my path. I expect you to follow yours. So if it helps you, then go for it. Don't attack me. Don't try to force feed me your beliefs. Don't say, oh, come here, you'll be convinced. No, I've gone through almost 15, 16 years of it. I think that's long enough. That's like a lifetime almost. I missed a good part of my childhood because of it. Yeah, there were good parts. There were great people and stuff. But a lot of things I felt I was blocked from. It was like this whole different block that really could have helped me navigate the world. Like a lot of stuff, like Matt said, I had to find out on my own. I had to do some self-education. I had to look at videos. I had to do this. I had to experiment, trial and error. I had to go through hardships. I had to go through heartbreak. All this stuff I had to learn. And it's something I want to pass on to future generations, is that you should feel free to explore this world, this vast world. It's such a big world for us to just stay enclosed in this box, to say, don't seek knowledge, don't discover things out there, don't only adhere to what we tell you. And that's wrong. That's wrong. God, like I say, whoever you want to call him, he or she or it, did not create this world for you to stay in one spot, to think one way. You were given a brain for a reason, not to be controlled. You were given a brain to discover, to expand your knowledge. That's why you're here. That's why you're given a certain amount of time here. You're not here to just let someone else tell you what to do. That's not. It goes against every human impulse to be controlled. Every oppressed group of people in the world have always rebelled, because it's not human nature to be controlled like that. And so, I always use the analogy of Play-Doh. When you have Play-Doh in your hand, you squeeze it. The tighter you squeeze, the more it seeps out, because it's seeking to get away. That's how human beings are. Well, free-thinking human beings. If you want to be part of the religion, want someone to tell you what to do, hey, go for it. That's just not me. That's just not me. I have too much of a strong foundation and confidence in myself to let someone tell me and dictate what I should do in my life. And that's end of rant.
Well,
go, Matt, go.
It's great to be able to have a discussion about something, as hot a topic as religion in the first place. I think that's part of the problem that, it contributes to the ignorance of some people as well, too, is that, hey, I only want to associate with people who agree with my beliefs. I don't want to hear anyone else's. So I think, you need to at least be to a point where we could at least have a discussion about, hey, let me know what you think in terms of this. Which, I'm always open to. I'm always open to hear about someone's beliefs, someone's opinions. And then, maybe I can learn something. I don't have a problem with that. The issue is when you start to kind of press the issue. And now I've already told you that, hey, I'm not in agreement, and you continue to try to push it. That's when I think problems occur. But I think for religion in general, for some people, is gives them a sense of purpose in their life, which is a great segue for a future episode we're going to be having. But if that's great for that person, then awesome. Definitely go for it. Me as well. Excuse me. Personally, I'm not a religious person either. I don't need to go to an actual brick and mortar building to live some sort of code of conduct or feel like a good person or feel fulfilled in my life. I can obtain that in other ways personally. I also don't like someone telling me what to do as well, or limiting my ability to obtain knowledge or to experience things in life in general. And experiences are what increases your wisdom. Usually with experience comes wisdom. So unfortunately, when you're growing up, as a Jehovah's Witness, the reason you're behind the 8 ball is that you weren't able to go through those experiences that maybe other kids who weren't Jehovah's Witnesses were able to go through. So therefore, you get to a certain age, you don't have the wisdom that you should have at that age. So for a lack of wisdom, then means that you unfortunately make choices that maybe aren't beneficial to you. And sometimes these choices that you make could be in terms of romantic relationships, could be in terms of career choices, or the list goes on and on. But the danger with that is that they're choices or decisions that can affect your entire life, the rest of your life. Whereas had you been able to have the opportunity to obtain more experiences, to obtain more wisdom, maybe decision later on in life that would have improved your life. So I think for me, that's kind of the danger of growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, was not being able to experience certain things that I would have liked. Maybe it would have made me a little more equipped to handle certain obstacles that I'm facing now. So that's really my opinion about it. But it's great that we're able to come together and have a discussion about it. And that's the thing too. So it's not only about growth; it's being able to come together, as people. Whereas some religions are looking to divide if you don't agree with what they agree with. So it kind of puts them in their own little bubble and puts other people in their own little bubble. When really, in my opinion, people are people. We all, want happiness. We all want to live a great life. Life is hard. I don't think, people should say, well, hey, I think this is the way you should live your life. If that's how you want to live your life, great. But allow people to, live the way they want to live, as long as they're not harming others. Live the way they want to live, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, because you can't really, if you try to say, "Hey, let's reach across the board," they're not trained to do that.
No, it's hard for
in fact, they're discouraged. They're discouraged from even engaging you. They'll call you apostate and all sorts of dismissive stuff, because the one word they're afraid of is the word "why."
Yeah.
But the fact that you will stop talking to your own child because they got your child, like a person who came from you will stop talking to them because of their disfellowship or had kids and weren't married. That to me is just unbelievable. Like unbelievable. You don't even know your child is alive, dead. You don't know what they're doing. That to me is just ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ron.
Definitely. No. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one thing that I like I said, I don't agree with. Like, you shouldn't have that type of disassociation. But like you guys are saying, religion is for those who need it. There are some who really need religion in their life, or they need some type of guidance. They feel like they need that higher power to give them a sense of way. I don't think religion should be used as a weapon. You know, basically, oh, I gotta, God told me to put this bomb to my back and set off this message so that you can understand what I was saying and what I want. That doesn't make sense. Or, to, drive a plane through a building to say, this is what God told me to do. This is what we want to let you know. That's not what religion should be used for. Or mass murders or anything. No, that it just doesn't make sense. It also shouldn't be it shouldn't be used as a controlled for birth control or anything like that. You should be able to make your own decisions when especially of age. There's so much going on in this world that you shouldn't be judged in that type of thing. I think they always say bad association spoils you, but association helps you grow into the person that you need to be. Because if you don't know bad association, how do you know bad association? How will you figure that out? Maybe you are in the bad association and you just don't know it.
Yeah, who's to say it's what's bad association?
Right, until you figure it out yourself. True, like I said, that's an experience. And I'm not gonna say, like I said, religion is to who it is. If you need to see what different religions apply to you to say what type of association you should be dealing with, if you're looking for that. And you shouldn't be ashamed of it. You shouldn't be ashamed of your religion. You go through what you go through. Also relationships, learning to be in a relationship. Wow, I did in a religion or after religion. That's a hard thing. Like I was saying, you're not taught. You don't. Oh yeah, stay away from this one. They don't associate with you. Yeah, but you don't know, and you have to grow from there. You have to learn. Your wife or husband may not be that in there, and are you willing? You have to learn. Are you willing to sacrifice, or maybe you just need to find that person first, and then y'all both can come into this type of religion and say, "Yo, this will work out for us because we all agree with the same thing." But how am I supposed to find somebody if you won't let me? What I mean? I can't. Yeah. I like that person over there. We connect, we agree, we have more in common than I have with this one person here. And all we have is the religion, and that's all we got. So maybe I need to find this person. Maybe then we may be able to come back here if we agree to a certain extent. But overall, like you should be able to find your relationship. You should be able to have certain set, learn how to have talks with the opposite sex to learn what they're going through. And the opposite sex, especially the women part, yeah, like you said, man, it's like you're not trained. You're not trained, and you learn just to do this. As those are grown rules. Those are like a lot of the rules are grown rules. Like you're grown. Yeah, you want to be submissive to a man, but what is submissive? Submissive to certain people is, when you're older, it's like, I'm a understand what you're saying as a husband. Hey, we need to move due to the lack of money in this area. We're not making enough. Maybe we need to go and try somewhere else. I got a job. Maybe we can do this. And then you learn, okay, he's going to take care of everything. He's my husband. Yeah, it sucks, but we're going to make it. That's a difference than, hey, you don't leave the house, you don't do what I say, you're not a wife. And now they're sitting at home and they having no progression, no growth, and nothing's happening, and they're stuck. They're stuck in a horrible thing where it says, I'm submissive to my husband, or due to this religion or whatever. So, religion is as good in bad ways. I think that those who are there need to find themselves and learn what they want in their religion. Not saying it's a bad, I'm not saying it's a good. I'm out of the religion game because I didn't agree with her. There's a lot of religions I don't agree with, and I just use my personal experience to grow myself.
Now, Ron, did your father being Baptist and your mom being Jehovah's Witness, did that cause conflict between the two of them, or like how did they work that out?
For it caused. I never seen a conflict. Like I always seen maybe I was with my mother 95% of the time. So of course I'm doing what my mother is guided because she's the one I'm with. So that's what led me to be more of a witness because I was with her. Now my father, like I said, he would take me to his church and show me, and I would be there on certain maybe Sundays and sometimes on the Sundays and things like that. But so I had that type of feeling, but it was never like he needs to go with me. He needs to go with me. It was more like, all right, get dressed. You're going to this Sunday. You're going with me, Mom. Going to the hall, and all right, this Sunday you're going with me. We're going to Harlem to the church, and it was like, okay, I didn't, I know so and so is going to be there at this place. So and so is going to be there at this place. So that's the real thing. I didn't really see like a conflict as far as birthdays and things like that. It was like, like I said, my father actually would give me stuff. He didn't like disrespect my mother and say like, I'm gonna give it to him on his birthday. I'm gonna give it to him on his day, and we're gonna go out and have a party. We're gonna do this. He was like, all right, look, here's this, here's that, go hang out with your friends, go do this, go do that.
It seemed like there's a lot of compromising on your dad's side. What about your mom's side?
Well, my mother's a very stubborn person, so it's not to say that and he helped me to learn, like, with a lot of women, stubbornness is sometimes their role. Like they have to be stubborn. They have to be right. And I'm not saying right all the time, but they have to learn when they're wrong. And it takes a while, and they won't know it until later on. Like, so yeah, he let her guide me. He did let her guide me, and he did have his influence on as far as church and stuff like that. And I like I said, I went through it, but my mother, okay, it was more like, okay, if this is what you want, okay, cool. Now, it was difficult for me, in a sense, because I know my dad's birthday, and it's hard to say, hey, Dad, happy birthday. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not allowed to say that. I'm not allowed to tell you happy birthday.
Yeah.
And it's like, even to this day, like, these are things that's like still troubling to this day. I'm like almost 30, I'm 39 years old, and it's still to this day. I have a hard time telling people, hey, happy birthday. Or, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Valentine's Day. Buying gifts. These are things that are really still troubling. Like, to me, I get into a relationship and it's like, shoot, I actually got to get you a Christmas gift. I got to get you a Valentine's Day gift. I got to get you a birthday gift. Like, dude, I got to get you these things. I was not used to this. And it's hard to explain to, it's hard to explain to a woman, I wasn't brought up like, I don't need a gift because I wasn't brought up to expect a gift from you. And you got those that's like buying birthday, Christmas, Valentine's, just cause. I'll buy you a gift just cause. I'm more of I'll get it to you on a Tuesday. And a lot of women will look for it on Valentine's. I need this gift. I need these flowers. I need this. I need this on my birthday. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I wasn't brought up like that. So
yeah. No, it's tough to, like I said, it's tough to expect these things out of a kid and everything. It's really not fair to put that responsibility on them at a young age. You know, these grown-up decisions, because whether you liked it or not, you would have to make a decision between the conflict of your folks. You would have to make a decision of how to lead your life, and then you're thinking, okay, should I follow my dad's way or should I follow my mom's way, or just take a little of the two and form my own path? I mean, it's a lot to ask from a young person. So, sorry you're still conflicted there, but I don't like a situation where I don't feel free. You know, I want to feel free enough to make decisions, of how to lead my life. If I want to say happy birthday, I shouldn't have reservations of saying it. If I want to say Merry Christmas or whatever, I shouldn't have reservations like, oh, who's that going to offend? It's basically, you want to feel free. It's not meant to offend. If you're offended by me saying that to someone else, then whose problem is it really? Is it mine or yours? So, but that's what I mean. Like, someone should be free enough to follow their own path, follow their own thing. If it's helping them, fine. Don't impose on me. Don't try to tell, like, I know that's your mother, but, don't impose on, if I'm like a grown person, all right, let me lead my own life, let me be a grown person. Anyway. Anything else to add? Either of you? Okay. Okay. That resounding no that I heard. Okay. Man, great discussion, guys. Like, I know there's a lot of you're very vulnerable in this one. A lot of things he pulled out from the past, but it's good to like let go, because I feel it's a release. It's something that you shouldn't keep it inside. If you have these issues, I know we know plenty of people who feel the exact same way. They've been raised in this certain fashion, and they just have all these feelings harboring, and so it's good to let it all out like that. All right, so all right, thanks for listening. Okay, so you can reach me at garnet.galloway on IG. Also, my cosplay page, Genetics Cosupere. I'm going to spell it this time. GNETIX KOUSUPURE on Instagram. All right, just put genetics. It'll pop up. Okay, I'm the only idiot that has that. All right, I want to be special. I want to be extra. Also, you can check me out on YouTube. This is Gnet. This is Gnet. Also, Straight Up Ish has a YouTube channel. So if you're already watching YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're listening on the podcast, we're available on every platform. By the way, if you're listening on the podcast, thank you. Please give us those 5 stars, man. Let us be known. Let us venture out into the world of podcastdom. Podcastdom? Is that a word? Okay. Let us. That's how you'll be able to find us a lot easier. And just rate, subscribe, tell your friends. My German peoples. I can't believe we're popular in Germany too. Like, am I being translated in German? I don't know. I don't see how. I'd be curious to see how I sound in German, or Swahili in Kenya. You guys, you Kenyans, please tell your friends. Tell your friends about the Straight Up Ish podcast. We talk about it all, man. Also, questions, concerns, ideas for the show, criticisms, straightupishtalk@gmail.com. Okay, so where can we find the rest of you guys?
You can find me here at Straight Up Ish Podcast.
Mm-hmm. Probes still has no social media.
This is bad. You got to get something, man.
Bad, man. It's
like last episode I said mid-October.
He said mid-October. Well, we're gonna keep roasting you until that time comes. You're gonna get roasted every episode until then. You got a long way to go, boy.
I mean, man, it literally takes you 2 minutes to make
exactly.
Something.
We have a straight up ish Instagram. I forgot about that. Subscribe to that too. We don't got we got 2 pictures up, but it's all good. It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow.
couple videos can get
couple of videos in. We'll get something
get a
going.
couple of videos in there.
We'll get something going.
All right.
Can't find you.
So you can catch me on Instagram, tsr.photos. tsr.photos is my Instagram page. Same thing I'm doing, pictures, vlogs, straight talk, IGTV. So that's my handle. And that's it for me.
All right, man. All right. So as always, thanks for listening to Straight Up Ish Podcast. All right. I'm going to keep saying that name, Straight Up Ish Podcast. All right. We're almost there. We're almost at monetization. We're almost getting we're getting subscribers each week, listeners each week. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. All right. Peace.
Peace.
This has been the Straight Up Ish Podcast. We're on Google, Apple, and Spotify, and everywhere you listen to your podcasts. New episodes every week, so don't forget to subscribe.